Indeed. But coming back to COP28 itself then, of course, they were very excited that they had apparently passed the resolution, and they decided to give themselves an applaud there. Isn't that great? So let's have a look and see what they actually said in their communique. So they said that they further recognize the need for deep, rapid and sustained reductions in greenhouse gas emissions in line with the 1.5 degrees C pathways. And they call on parties to contribute to the following global efforts in nationally determined manner, taking into account the Paris Agreement and their different national circumstances, pathways and approaches. So this is a call on people to do this. It's up to them whether they do it or not. So they're calling on people to contribute with the following global efforts: tripling renewable energy capacity globally and doubling the global average annual rate of energy efficiency improvements by 2030. So that's more windmills and solar panels, less food production, therefore, and colder winters for everybody. Accelerating efforts towards the phase down of unabated coal power, which of course is really detrimental for developing countries in particular. Accelerating efforts globally towards net zero emission energy systems, utilizing zero and low carbon fuels well before or by around mid-century. Transitioning away from fossil fuels. Remember, this is a call on people to transition away. This isn't a legally binding requirement or anything like that. So transitioning away from fossil fuels and energy systems in a just, orderly and equitable manner. And there's lots of accelerationism going on. So they want to accelerate zero and low emission technologies, including abatement and removal technologies such as carbon capture, utilization and storage. And they want to accelerate and substantially reduce non-carbon dioxide emissions globally, including particularly methane emissions by 2030. So that's attacking the farming industry again in particular. And accelerating the reduction of emissions from road transport on a range of pathways, including through development of infrastructure and rapid deployments of zero and low emission vehicles. So what is really going on here? Of course, what this communique does is it allows developing nations to continue to do whatever they like. It allows China to continue doing whatever it likes, and Russia and so on. But in the West, where we are pushing hardest on this policy of net zero, of course, it allows us to require that we stop using petrol-driven cars and diesel-driven cars, and we switch off our gas and coal-fired power stations and replace them with windmills and so on. And of course, this is all about levelling up. And so if we look at the UK government's policy papers on this is going back to April this year, Powering Up Britain Net Zero Growth Plan. And they're talking about exactly this. Ahead of COP28, we'll need to revitalise efforts to keep 1.5 degrees C in reach, including in pushing for emissions peaking before 2025. Our transition to a green and sustainable future will provide new opportunities to grow and level up the UK economy. So, look, this term has been used so often. It's been pushed extremely hard in the UK. Let's just understand what it means. This is what levelling up, the definition in the dictionary, the practice of improving standards in one place, area of activity, etc., so they're the same in another place. Well, of course, what we're actually looking at here is the great corporate parent, if we just put that back up on screen, who's the guy on the left who moved the seesaw to the horizontal position. He's pulling down us little children. We don't deserve any kind of standard of living. We're levelling up standards of living across the world by bringing Western standards of living down to a level which is the same as other countries in the world. We're not necessarily wanting other countries to develop and bring their standard of living up. So that's what levelling up is about, really. I just mentioned to end, of course, what's the effect of that on Britain's economy? Well, of course, we are shrinking. So we are looking like heading back into recession at this point. Well, that's the result of COP28. Let's move on. If you like what the UK Column does, you'd like to support us, please head over to community.ukcolumn.org. Your membership there very much needed. You could pick something up at the UK Column shop. But please do share anything you find on the various platforms, especially ukcolumn.org and ukcolumnextracts.co.uk. And we'll just mention a few of the things you could be sharing now. So first of all, tomorrow, 1 p.m, an interview you did with John Cook.
Yeah, which I really would absolutely urge everybody to listen to, regardless of whether you've ever set foot on a farm or not. John Cook is a very, very knowledgeable, enthusiastic and determined raw milk and organic beef farmer in Wiltshire. And what he doesn't know about food security and where and how to produce food in the best possible manner is not worth knowing. So amazing insights into human health, animal welfare, the great challenges faced by farmers, and critically, how farmers and communities can have really strong and helpful relationships.
Good. Okay, so that's 1 p.m. tomorrow, ukcolumn.org/live and the other usual places. I want to mention that we've put up Cheryl Granger's work on the Pfizer Moderna documents analysis that has been done by the Daily Cloud. So she's done a summary of this. It's a fantastic resource, so please do have a look at this on the UK Column website. You'll find it on the front page. And each of the Daily Cloud reports has a summary there that you can go and have a look at, and then a link through to the respective report. Yesterday, at 1 p.m., we premiered the interview that I did with Clifford Kiracofe on Christian Zionism. That's on the UK Column website at the moment. And another article that I want to highlight on there is Johnny Vedmore's recent article on Pablo Miller, who is, MI6 was most, if he's famous at all, which he isn't, but anybody that's come across the name will have done so because of his relationship to Sergei Skripal in particular. But this is having a look at the people that Pablo Miller has worked with over the years. Extremely interesting article. Please share all of that as widely as you possibly can.